place, that road, I know that road is, the Clarks used to live out on that road.
That's Pancake.
Pancake Road, right. And that comes out to Route 11.
It does.
All right. Now we go past that road, and just over here a little ways, this road comes back in and ties in to this road.
Oh, and it went across the river.
It went back across the river.
I've seen the bridge structure from the river when I've floated down it, but the road you can't see anymore because it's down. But I've floated under the struts that held it up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, they went, this comes across to there, and that road there comes up.
That's Cross Hill.
Brings up over the Cross Hill.
And they connect.
And they go up by the Thompson farm.
Yes, yes. They go up a serious hill.
Yep, and Thompson farm. And that
yes, the Thompson farm.
That brings you all the way up to Bunker Hill Cemetery.
Yes.
Out here, just past that road, was a long house. That was here. And
on the left?
On the left, on the right.
On the right.
And the man that lived there was, his brother lived over here. Dana Aldrich lived here.
Oh my, good for you.
Dana Aldrich lived here, and this is the road that goes parallel to that, when out this way.
Yes.
Dana Aldrich lived on the corner of Cross Hill and
Shindagan
Road. And out the Shindagan Road, the Evanses lived here.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond the Evans place, the O'Brien family lived here.
And this is in the 1940s.
Yeah, in the late 40s.
Late 40s.
And Mr. O'Brien had a homemade tractor, and it locked up on him, rolled him over him and killed him.
Oh.
And he had twin girls.
Oh.
And his twin girls used to work for my dad down over here on the quick water farm, raking hay in the meadow because it was so swampy that the horses couldn't rake the hay, and those two girls could take a bull rake and rake hay faster than one of the boys could with a horse rake. They would rake the hay up in windrows, and my father would rake, pull the hay and put loads of hay on the wagons and haul the hay up to where, I don't know whether they hauled it all up to my house, my folks' house, or where it was that they used all that hay, or whether he hauled it up to Mr. O'Brien's place. But this was all going on. He was over here, my dad was over here mowing that swamp land of the quick water farm when Mr. O'Brien had this accident that morning with his, and they came and got his girls from the field.
Oh, sad day.
Yeah.
Now, Quick Water Farm was on 4A.
It was on 4A, and
right.
It's still there.
Okay.
Yeah. Beyond that house, the Quick Water Farm, where the Prescott Farm is, they got animals out there now. They got llamas, and they got I don't know what other animals they got there.
I think they do some rescue work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But Now, have I got to your house yet?
Not quite.
Okay. This long house, this right here, was Aldrich's brother.
That may be mine. That may be the one that's mine. Mine is about, after Pancake, it's the third or fourth house on the right. And it overlooks Kearsarge. And it's on a pretty good sized piece of property on the river.
Yeah.
And it was a chicken farm in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah. Did the Aldrich...
I haven't done the research to find out for sure, but it sounds like it could be, doesn't it?
Well, to get beyond that place, out here, I wish I knew what the lady's name was, but there was a lady that lived maybe second or third house beyond that. It was a beautiful, beautiful set of houses, and it was well painted, well kept, good. I was in the 4-H club back then, and I was going to the down to Manchester or beyond Manchester to the where they had the 4-H.
Where the competitions were, yeah.
Yeah, and I belonged to a 4-H club, and we was back then. The kids would go out and solicit money or help for camping, and that lady was so wonderful. She paid my whole 2 weeks at boys' camp down to Manchester.
You know, that really rings strongly that it could be Mrs. Cassard, because she was known to do things like that.
Mrs. Cassard.
Mrs. Cassard, I think her first name was Blanche, but you wouldn't have known that as a young person.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. She did very generous things. She did things like she'd get each of the Sanborn kids a big bicycle every Christmas when they reached a certain age, like 12. She was very generous.
She gave this, what she did for me, and I was, I wasn't, all I remember was we were just soliciting.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't somebody to pay the whole thing, but she said, how much is this going to cost you for 2 weeks camp? And I told her, and I said, but you don't have to give me that. I said, I just wondered if you'd like to donate to that. She said, just a minute. She went back in the house and she wrote a check for the full 2 weeks. And I went to the Boy Scout camp.
You must have been astounded.
And I went up onto the mountain down there, and the only place that I ever saw a rattlesnake. Well, we saw a rattlesnake on top of that mountain.
Which mountain was that?
Down
in Manchester?
Yeah, down near Manchester.
Oh. It wasn't Monadnock, because that was farther away. I'm not sure of that. The mountains there. Interesting. Because the rattlesnakes really don't like it here much. They're timber rattlers, right?
Yeah.
And they're reclusive.
Yeah.
So that was an unusual sighting.
But then, at that time, we didn't know whether they were dangerous or not. You know, and the camping director wouldn't let us get too close to them.
No. Well, that's wonderful. I think you located us. So do you mind showing me again where all the Goves lived on the Andover section of 4A? Just so I can get that on my camera. Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
You come off on the 4A right there.
Right.
and you start up, to go towards Potter Place.
Right. And the names of the three families there?
The Ralph, with Florence, and Karen, Florence, and Burl is still there.
Okay. And they're the ones that run the daycare. The young people run the daycare there.
Karen and Billy.
Okay.
Karen and Billy was up here at this house here prior to they don't live there now.
Okay.
And so the only ones there now is Karen and Billy are here, and Florence, the mother, is in the same house, and Burl's house is down here.
Right.
Right now, they took Florence from Lebanon Hospital yesterday.
Yes.
And she's over to New London.
Okay.
Over to New London care building.
Okay.
Clough's.
Oh, right. So she's getting some
She's over
rehab over there.
Rehab, right.
Okay.
And Burl is still at her house. And I say, I don't know who lives in these other houses.
Okay. That's
It's
great.
surprising. All these houses have been built in there, and across the road, down in this road, you got houses down in here that.
Lots of new ones, yeah. And this particular little triangle was a little feud Andover and Wilmot had over who took care of the road and who paid taxes on the property.
Yes.
So it got rearranged.
Yeah. So it's Andover's pays the property. That little bit that went to this land in here.
Isn't that amazing?
That was Andover's property.
Okay. Well, that was a good review of the history here. I've never heard that. So it's fun to hear. For me, because that's my neighborhood, of course.
Yes, of course it is. But I guess what I got to do is come down to Wilmot again.
I think so.
Drive into Mrs. Cassard's house.
And who's going to come out the front door?
You.
Exactly. So isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's very...
And another fun thing about that is that the little barn across the street that was a cow barn in Mrs. Cassard's time has become a residence.
Is that right?
Yes, and I think one of the Reno boys may have built it. And the Cave's younger generation lived in it for a while when they were taking care of Mrs. Cave. They now live on Cross Hill, and now it's changed hands several times, but we know that it was the old cow barn. For our old farmhouse. And since we have been living there, we've been there about 16 years. We came from Tennessee, long ways away, and what we did was turn it into a bed and breakfast.
Oh, did you?
And we ran it as a bed and breakfast for 11 years. And enjoyed every minute. And hosted weddings out in the big fields in the back.
Yeah.
And in the flower gardens. We restored the flower garden.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so who knew? Isn't that fun? So I'd love to have you come visit. And we can go down memory lane.